the name of the Lord in vain and set fire to Fred Shoemaker's old broken-down tool house.
And that's not all. Somebody sent 5 dozen donuts to the firemen, and the herdmen ate them all. And what they couldn't eat, they stuffed in their pockets and down the front of their shirts.
And he wrote this really, really dirty word on the back of Naomi Waddle's favorite turtle. So now she can't take to my ACA pet show. Her mother won't let her.
What was the word?
And that's not all. They did it with fluorescent paint, so even when you can't see the turtle, you can still see the word.
And they put a whole bunch of tadpoles in the school drinking fountain, so Miss Barnes swallowed 2 or 3 by mistake. Somebody yelled, "Mildred, stop! You're drinking tadpoles!" But it was too late.
Did she get sick?
Not right away.
And that's not all. Now let me tell you about the Christmas pageant and what they did to that. There were 6 of them. Ralph, Imogene, Leroy, Claudia, Ollie, and Gladys. And they went through the Woodrow Wilson School like those South American fish that strip your bones clean. They went around town the same way, stealing things, tearing things up, and whamming kids. So it was hard to get away from them. There was only one safe place.
Sweet hour of prayer, sweet hour of prayer, because there are no herdmen there. But Jesus loves us, as they say, because he keeps them miles away.
That's my little brother Charlie. That's what he said when his Sunday school teacher asked him what his favorite thing about church was. He said, "No herdmen." That made the teacher kind of mad, because all the other kids had said nice things about God and Jesus and good feeling, but good old Charlie told the real truth. No herdmen.
Said that's what they really thought. All that other stuff is okay. But the main good thing about church is the Hermans aren't there. Ever.
That's not a very Christian sentiment, it seems to me.
It's a very practical sentiment. Charlie was black and blue all last year because he had to sit next to Leroy Herdman in school.
Is he the worst one, Leroy?
They're all the worst one.
Well, Ralph's the biggest. So if Ralph gets you,
that doesn't make any difference. Gladys is big, but she's mean, and she's fast, and she bites.
I'm sorry I asked. Just stay away from all of them.
That's what I just barely said. Stay away from them. Go to church.
I'm glad to hear you feel that way. Why? No arguments this year about the Christmas pageant.
I don't want to be a shepherd again.
Well, tell Mrs. Armstrong you want to be a wise man.
I don't want to be in it.
Everyone's in the Christmas pageant. Think how I'd feel sitting there Christmas Eve if my own children were in the Christmas pageant. Think how your father would feel. You'd feel terrible, wouldn't you, Bob? Wouldn't you, Bob?
Well, actually, I didn't plan to go. You know how crowded it always is. They can use my place. I think I'll just stay home, slip on my bathrobe, and relax. There's never anything different at the Christmas pageant.
Well, there's going to be something different this year.
What?
Charlie's going to wear your bathrobe.
Grace, you just thought that out.
Hey, Charlie, why don't you be Joseph? Elmer Hopkins will pay $1 to be Joseph. Elmer's sick of being Joseph all the time just because his father's the minister. Nobody wants to be Joseph.
Nobody wants to be in it.
What are you going to be this year, Beth?
I'm always in the angel choir.
Why can't Charlie be in the angel choir?
Because I can't sing.
From what I've heard in the past, that's not a serious drawback. Away in a manger always sounds like a closet full of mice.
What do you wear in the angel choir?
Bed sheets.
Oh boy, some choice. Tobacco, bitch. Come on, let's go watch TV.
You know, Mrs. Armstrong works very hard to give everyone a monthly experience.
Mrs. Armstrong just likes to run things.
You're right, you know. She directs the pageant. She's chairman of the potluck supper. And she runs the bazaar. You know, I think Helen Armstrong would preach the sermon if anybody would let her.
Is that George Armstrong's wife?
Yes?
Well, maybe she'll try to manage the hospital, because that's where she is. I saw George in the drugstore. He told me his wife broke her leg this morning. She'll be in traction for 2 weeks, laid up until after the first of the year.
The first of the year?
That's what he said.
They'll have to cancel Christmas.
Oh, she's in charge of Christmas.
Well, she's in charge of the pageant and she's in charge of the bazaar. I feel sorry for Helen, but who are they going to get to do all those things?
Yes, Edna. I'll take over the bazaar if you'll do the public supper. I don't know what in the world we'll do about the pageant, though. Unless, how about Grace?
Listen, Bertha, I just can't. I've got company coming all Christmas week. But how about Grace? Hello, Grace. How are you, dear?
Bob,
What?
I have to direct the Christmas pageant.
Oh, well, does that mean I have to go?
Our Christmas pageant isn't what you call four-star entertainment. Mrs. Armstrong breaking her leg was the only unexpected thing that ever happened to it. It was always the same old Christmas story, the same old Christmas carols, and the same old Mary and Joseph. So that's what my mother was stuck with. That and Mrs. Armstrong.
Tell you again, Grace, how important it is to give everyone a chance. Here's what I do. I always start with Mary, and I tell them that we must choose our Mary carefully because Mary was the mother of Jesus.
I know that, Helen.
Yes, and then I tell them about Joseph and how he was God's choice to be Jesus' father. That's how I explain that.
I thought Mrs. Armstrong was in traction. How can she be talking on the phone if she's in traction?
What do you think traction is?
Like, when they put you to sleep?
No such luck. Beth, we'll need salt and pepper and napkins.
There are no small parts, only small actors.
Oh, Charlie, you will leave some for the rest of us, won't you?
I'm hungry. Remember, Miss stole my lunch again.
How can you let him do that to you day after day?
How can I stop him? Where's the chicken?
Grace, where's the chicken?
You're going to have to get someone to push the
I'll get it.
on. Otherwise, they get in each other's way and bend their wings. Bob could do that, and he could keep an eye on the shepherds, too. Oh, another thing about the angel choir, don't let them wear lipstick. They think that just because it's a play that they have to wear lipstick.
Helen, I have to go. Someone's at my door.
It looks terrible, so tell us.
Someone's at my door, Helen. I'll talk to you later. Yes, I'm coming.
Oh, lady, could you give me some supper? I haven't had a square meal in 3 days.
Just you.
I was lonely at the table.
Well, I guess Helen was lonely at the hospital.
Nonsense. Not as long as the telephones are working.
I'll bet she told you that. No small parts, only small actors.
And getting someone to shove the baby angels on to make the shepherds shut up.
She suggested your father.
Oh, well, does that mean I have to go?
And Grace, don't get just anybody's baby for Jesus. Get a quiet one. Or better yet, get 2 if you can. That way, if one turns out to be fussy, you can always switch them.
pay much attention to Mrs. Armstrong. She said Mrs. Armstrong was stuck in the hospital with nothing to do but think up problems. And there weren't going to be any problems. Of course, my mother wasn't counting on the Herdmans. That was Charlie's fault.
Hey, Leroy, we're getting back for lunch. Sure, kid, here. You stole my dessert again.
How do you know?
Because it isn't here.
What was it?
2 Twinkies.
That's right, that's what it was.
Hey, Leroy, you think so great steal my dessert today? Well, I don't care if you steal my dessert. I can give you my dessert. I get all the dessert I want Sunday school.
Oh yeah, what kind of dessert?
All kinds like chocolate cake and candy bars and cookies and vigils. We get all the refreshments you want all the time.
You're a liar!
And ice cream and donuts and cupcakes.
Who gives it to you?
The minister.
Why is he crazy?
No, I think he's rich.
Sunday school, huh? Hey, pals, listen to this! That was the wrong thing to tell the Herdmans. But sure enough, the very next Sunday, there they were in Sunday school, just in time to hear about the Christmas pageant.
What's a pageant?
It's a play.
Like on TV? What's it about?
It's about Jesus.
Everything here is.
And it's about Mary. It's mostly about Mary.
Who's Mary?
Well, I am. Well, probably I am. I know the part.
Come on, Beth, Charlie, you and David come. Now, this won't take very long if you all settle down. Today we are going to decide who will play the main role in our Christmas pageant. But, of course, everyone will have an important part to play. You know what Mrs. Armstrong always tells you? There are no small parts, only small actors. Isn't that what she always says?
Yeah, that's what she says, but she never says what it means.
Well, don't you know what it means?
I know what it means. It means the short kids have to sit in the front row of the angel choir, or else nobody can see them.
Well, not exactly. It really means that the littlest baby angel is just as important as Mary.
I don't think anyone is as important as Mary.
Well, naturally, that's what you think, Alice. I think Jesus would be more important. Well, I still think it means the short kids have to sit in the front row because nobody can see them if you don't.
Mary's
Girls, everyone is important. Mary, Jesus, and the short kids. Now, is everyone here? Beverly, will you just step out in the hall and see if anybody else is coming? Now, you little children will be our angels. So please remind your mothers that you'll need bed shoes. Little and the angels, what's the matter now? Oh, let's make room for the Herdmans. Now what happened to Beverly?
I think she went home. I think she got sick.
Did she say she was sick?
She just left. All I did was I just said, "Hi, Beverly." And she just left.
Oh, I see. Well, will someone please remind Beverly about rehearsals? The next 4 Wednesdays after school, plan to be to every rehearsal.
What if we get sick?
Well, you won't get sick, Elmer. And of course, Joseph and Mary must absolutely be to every rehearsal.
What if they get sick?
They won't get sick either, Elmer.
Well, Beverly got sick and we haven't even started yet.
We don't know that Beverly got sick. Now, I want you to think about Beverly, are you okay? Come and have a seat over here. Now, I want you to think about Mary. She was kind and gentle and quiet, and the girl who plays that part should try and be that kind of person. Now, who would like to volunteer to be Mary? Did you have a question, Imogene?
No, I want to be Mary. And Ralph, over there, he wants to be Joseph. Yeah, right.
Well, I'll just make a list of volunteers for these parts, and then we'll all decide who they should be. Ralph Herdman. Now, who else would like to be Joseph? Elmer, did you raise your hand? No. Just raise your hands, please. Anyone? Any of you shepherds? Very well. Ralph Herdman will be Joseph. Now, Imogene has volunteered to be Mary. I'll just write that down. What other names can I put on my list? Maxine, Beth, Alice. Wouldn't you like to volunteer?
I don't want to.
I'll be married. Shut up, Gladys. I'm already married. You be a wise man.
Well, wise men are usually boys.
I'll be a wise man. Me too. Claudia, you want to be a wise man? Raise your hand. What's a wise man? Just raise your hand.
What's up to be?
Some angel.
I'll be that. What is it?
Well, the angel of the Lord who brought the good news to the shepherds. Oh, I do have some volunteers. David, would you like to be a wise man?
Oh, I just want to say I can't be a wise man.
Why
You live in
not?
Philadelphia.
Well, why didn't you say so before?
I just remembered. Oh, and I can't be a shepherd either.
Why not?
I don't know. My mom just said don't be a shepherd.
I'm not going to be a shepherd if he's not.
Oh, yes, you are. What's the matter with all of you?
I don't want to be a shepherd. Gladys Herdman hits too hard.
Well, Gladys isn't going to hit anyone. The angel of the Lord just brings the good news to the shepherds in the fields and tells them Jesus is born.
And hits them.
That's ridiculous, Elmer. I don't want to hear another word about it from anyone. No shepherd may quit or get sick. Now, that's all for today. But I expect to see you back here Wednesday at 6:30. Alice, what's wrong with you? Why in the world didn't you volunteer?
I don't know.
You don't know? I expected you to. Don't you want to be married?
Ow! Oh, come on, Alice. I don't know. I didn't dare raise my hand. Imogene Herdman would have killed me. She said, I'm going to be married in this Christmas pageant. And if you dare raise your hand or open your mouth, you wish you didn't. And I said, I'm always married in the Christmas pageant. And she said, go ahead then. And next spring when the pussy willows come out, I'll stick a pussy willow so far down your ear that no one can reach it. And it will grow there and sprout there, and you'll spend the rest of your life with a pussy willow bush growing out of your ear. You know she wouldn't do that. She would too. The Herdmans will do anything. You just wait and see. They'll do something horrible and ruin the whole pageant, and it's all your mother's fault. Oh, that's a scene.
Jane, hi dear. Edna McCarthy, did you hear that well, it must be Grace's fault somehow. Well, how else could the six of them be in the Christmas pageant when they ought to be in jail?
Vera, Irma Slocum. I just heard that Imogene Herdman is going to be Mary in the Christmas pageant. And is that a fact? All six of them? Vera, I live next door to that outfit. And I'd rather live next to a zoo. Has Grace gone crazy?
Where did they come from? Who let them in? to know. He was what? Oh, because look at shut-ins. Well, I'm a shut-in, and he wasn't visiting me. What was
Nailed down the church's
I
lock
said
at the
this
door.
wasn't how that
Before they clean them out.
If I'd been up and around, this never would have happened.
If I'd been up and around, this never would have happened. Well, let me tell you.
Don't
I
tell me. I'm on your side. Grace, the car's over here.
Helen Armstrong is not the only woman alive who can run a Christmas pageant. I made up my mind just to do the best that I could under the circumstances. But now, I'm going to make this the best Christmas pageant ever. And I'm going to do it with the Herdmans. After all, they raised their hand, and nobody else did. And I don't care if they...
Good for you, Grace. The car's over here.
And you're going to help me.
Does that mean...
You have to go. Okay, now the inn is back here off stage. The shepherds come in and gather round the
Where
manger.
all the shepherds come from anyway?
What's in it?
Well, it's like a motel where people go to spend the night. What people? Jesus? Oh, honestly, Jesus wasn't even born yet. Joseph was there. Why? To pay their taxes. At a motel?
Shut up, Ollie! Everybody shut up! I want to hear her. Begin at the beginning. The beginning? The beginning of the play. What happens first? Well, Imogene, this is the Christmas story from the Bible. Haven't you ever heard the Christmas story from the Bible? Well, that's what this pageant is. So, I better read it to you.
I don't believe that, dear, that they've never heard the Christmas story. Why not? They don't even know what a Bible is. And they've never been to church in their whole life. Until your dumb brother told them that we got refreshments. Now we have to waste this whole time for nothing.
All right now. There went out a decree from Caesar Augustus that all the world should be taxed. And Joseph went up from Galilee with Mary, his wife, being great with child.
Pregnant? She was pregnant!
All right now, we all know that Mary was pregnant.
I don't think it's very nice to say that Mary was pregnant. Well, she was. Well, I still don't think your mother should say that Mary was pregnant. It's better to say great with child. I'm not supposed to talk about people being pregnant, especially in church.
And wrapped him in swaddling clothes and laid him in the manger because there was no room for them in the inn.
My gosh, they didn't have room for Jesus?
Well, nobody knew that the baby was going to be Jesus.
Didn't Mary know? Didn't he know? What's the matter with Joseph? They didn't tell them her pregnant and everything.
What's a manger? Some kind of bed?
Well, they didn't have a bed in the barn, so Mary had to use whatever she could. What if you had a baby and no bed to put the baby in?
We put glass in the bureau drawer.
Oh, well, see, you didn't have a bed, so you had to use something else.
We had a bed, only Olive was chilling. She didn't like Gladys. Remember how you didn't like Gladys?
That was pretty smart, Molly, not to like Gladys right off the bat.
Anyway, a manger is a large wooden feeding trough for animals.
Well, why did I close?
The what?
Says Mary. She wrapped it in wadded up clothes.
Oh, swaddling clothes. People used to wrap their babies up in big pieces of material to make them feel cozy.
You mean they tied him up and put him in a feed box? Where was child welfare?
The child welfare that asks every 5 minutes. There wasn't any child welfare in Bethlehem.
I'll say there wasn't.
And there were shepherd shepherds in the field keeping watch over their flocks by night. And the angel of the Lord came upon them, and the glory of God...
Shazam!
What?
Out of the black night with all of vengeance!
What are you talking about?
The Mighty Marvel in Amazing Comics. Out of the black night with all of vengeance!
Gladys, this is the angel of the Lord who brought good news to the shepherds.
Out of nowhere, right? In the black night, right?
Well, in a way.
Shazam!
Now, when Jesus was born, there came wise men from the east, bringing gifts of gold and frankincense.
What's that?
And myrrh.
What's that?
Well, they were special things. Spices and precious oils.
Oil? What kind of present is oil? We get better presents from the welfare.
Were they the welfare, the wise men?
No, they were kings.
Well, it's about time some importance showed up. If they're kings, they'll get the baby at the feed box and tell the innkeeper where to get off.
And they were sent by Herod, who was the main king. He wanted to find Jesus and have him put to death.
My gosh, he just got born. They're gonna kill a baby?
Who's here in this play?
Well, Herod isn't in the play.
He's out to kill the baby, and he isn't even in the play?
Well, somebody better be Herod. We tried to be Herod, and he said, go and get me that baby. And they say, okay, because he's the king and all.
But then they don't do it. They go back and get him.
I'm not gonna be Herod.
No one's going to be Herod.
No, Joseph gets the shepherd's dinner. And then they go up that Herod. See? Look at the one. Look at me. I'm gonna kill.
Forget about Herod. There is no Herod.
And I'm gonna bring the baby till the fight's over.
Someone ought to fix the innkeeper. Gladys, you wipe out the innkeeper. I can't. I'm an angel.
Well, I wouldn't just hang out in the barn. I go get a room.
She said there wasn't any room.
Then I throw somebody out. I tell them I've got this baby, and it's the middle of winter, so either get up or move over.
I'd go after old Harry. I'd send the angel after him. She could just put her electric finger and turn him into a pile of ashes. Yeah, exactly. What's the name of the play? She said. Christmas Pageant. That's no name. That's what it is. I know a name. I know a name. I call it Revenge at Bethlehem.
Revenge at Bethlehem. The herdman thought the Christmas story came right out of the FBI files. But at least they picked out the right villain. It was King Herod they wanted to gang up on, and not the baby Jesus. But the baby Jesus quit the pageant. It was supposed to be Eugene Slocum, but Mrs. Slocum said she wasn't going to let Imogene Herdman get her hands on him. So we didn't have a baby, and that kind of bothered my mother. She kept trying to scratch one up, even at the last rehearsal. What do you keep writing in that book?
It's like a diary.
It is not. It's all bad stuff about the Herdmans. Imogene curses and swears all the time. Ralph talks about sexy things. Mrs. Bradley calls Mary pregnant. Gladys Herdman drinks communion wine. It isn't wine, it's grape juice.
I don't care what it is. She drinks it. I've seen her mouth purple 2 or 3 times. And they still do. Every time you shake the birthday bake, it doesn't make a sound. Because they stole all the pennies from it. And every time you go into the ladies' room, the air is all blue. And Imogene Herdman is sitting there in her merry costume, smoking cigars.
And you wrote all this down?
What for? For my mother
Now, this is our last rehearsal.
Grace, listen, dear. We're out in the kitchen making applesauce cake, and we'll try not to bother you. So, this is your dress rehearsal, is it?
Well, it's supposed to be.
Well,
Edna, did I hear that your niece had a baby a month or so ago? A little girl?
oh yes, Grace. She is so beautiful, and she's
Well, I was wondering how it would be if I were to call your niece and ask her.
Stop. I know what you're going to say. And there, I could tell you someone and say, she's sick or cranky or something. But the truth is, Grace, she is perfectly healthy and happy and beautiful. And we all want her to stay that way. There's no way that we would turn her over to Imogene Herdman. Ugh. Sorry, Grace. I can't believe she didn't
Mrs.
say
Bradley,
that.
you can have my little brother for Jesus.
David, I didn't know you had a new baby.
He's not new, he's 4 years old, but he's double jointed, so he can probably scrunch up.
Oh, I don't think
I'm an innocent baby.
Well, how can you do that, Imogene?
There's always 2 or 3 babies in carriages outside supermarkets. I'll just get one of them.
Imogene, you can't just walk off with someone's baby. We'll just forget about the baby. We'll just use the doll.
Yeah, that's better. Anyway, a doll can't bite you.
Oh, and Imogene, Mary didn't wear earrings.
I have to wear these. I just got my ears pierced, and if I don't keep something in them, they'll grow together.
Not in an hour and a half. What did your doctor tell you?
What, doctor?
Well, who pierced your ears?
Gladys.
I'll bet you did it with an ice pick. I'll bet Imogene's ears turn black and fall off.
Well, we'll have to find something smaller then. And Imogene, is that your costume? Is that what you're going to wear? Everyone is supposed to have your costumes on today.
But I lost my halo. My wings got open. My mom doesn't have any white sheets. Can I use a sheet with balloons on it? I don't got any costume. I was never a shepherd before. You're supposed to wear your father's bathrobe. That's what I have to do. He hasn't got a bathrobe. Well, what is he hanging around the house in? His underwear.
Okay. Let's just pretend you're wearing costumes.
Are we going through the whole thing?
Yes, of course.
No.
But first we're going to start with just the entrances. So everyone go to where you're supposed to be, and we'll start with the shepherds. And take the benches with you. Maxine, just say the last few lines.
Shepherds keeping watch over their flocks by night.
Music, shepherds.
And an angel of the Lord.
Shazam!
No.
Out of the black night.
No, Gladys, no. Go on, Maxine.
And a multitude of heavenly hosts.
Music, angels. Music, wise men.
I've got the baby here. Don't touch it. I need to see this.
No, Mary doesn't say anything.
Don't give it back.
No one says anything. Mary and Joseph just make a lovely picture for us to look at and think about Christmas are like these. Now, put the doll back.
I don't say anything. Some angel tells me what to call the baby. I've named him Bill.
What a horrible thing to say.
Well,
What angel is that? There's angels all over the place. Was it Gladys?
no, Gladys brought the good news to the shepherds.
Yeah! Unto you a child is born.
Not to me, not them. Me. I'm the one that had the baby.
All it means is that Jesus belongs to everyone, and to all of us a child is born.
Well, what did the angel do? Just walk up and say, name of Jesus?
Yes!
I know what the angel said. He said to call him Wonderful, Counselor, Mighty God, Everlasting Father, the Prince of Peace.
My gosh, he'd never get out of the first grade if you had it right all that.
Hey, Leroy!
Hey! Oh, 5 minutes, Maxine. 5 minutes.
We never did start over, and we never did go through the whole thing. 5 minutes turned into 15 minutes, and Imogene Herdman spent the whole time in the ladies' room, smoking cigars. So then, when Mrs. McCarthy went in, she saw the smoke, and she called the fire department. And they came right away.
Fire! Fire!
They cleared everybody out of the building and dragged the fire hose to the whole church, looking for a fire to put out. But the only one they found was in the kitchen. All the applesauce cake had burned up. So, of course, the ladies were mad about that. And Mrs. McCarthy was mad. And my mother, she was mad.
Why in the world did you call the fire department about a little smoke? Listen, Grace, you worked there. It was not a little smoke. It was a lot of smoke. Thick, black smoke. Oh, it was just terrible.
It couldn't have been. You just got excited. And now look, the whole church is full of firemen, and the streets are full of baby angels crying, and shepherds climbing all over the fire truck, and half the neighborhood. Didn't you know it was cigar smoke?
No, Grace, I didn't know it was cigar smoke. I don't expect to find cigar smoke in the ladies' room of the church. No, Grace.
They're still clearing everybody out, so we're going to have a 15-minute intermission. The bathrooms are over here. The first one is the ladies, and the second one is the gentlemen. But watch out, Imogene might be in there smoking cigars. Which Handy's over this way, but you have to go this way or else Gladys will get you. Alice Wendellkins's mother was mad too, and the whole Ladies' Aid Society was mad, and Reverend Hopkins said he didn't think anybody would come. I didn't think so, and neither did Charlie. But we were wrong. On Christmas Eve, the whole church was jammed full. Everybody came to see what the Herdmans would do.
Wait till I turn on the light.
I can't see a thing.
Now, watch your step.
Grace, I don't know what in the world you intend to do with this.
Well, I thought it might look like a palm tree.
A palm tree?
I can see now that it doesn't.
Palm tree.
Oh, I have no idea what's going to happen tonight. We've never once been through the whole thing. The Herdmans still think it's some kind of spy story. This may be the first Christmas pageant in history when Joseph and the wise men get in a fight and Mary runs away with the baby. Where are the kids?
All the kids in the world are down in the basement putting on bed sheets.
I mean our kids.
We're here.
Charlie, it's getting late. You need to go get your costume on.
It's just going to be awful, you know. You look like trick or treat or something. All dressed up, wearing their moldy old sneakers. And, oh, yeah. Oh, Mary and Joseph, I mean. They look like refugees or something.
Well, that's what they were. Mary and Joseph, they were refugees in a way. They were a long way from home. They didn't know anyone, didn't have any place to stay. They were probably cold and tired, hungry, and messy.
I don't know about cold and hungry. They sure are messy.
Do you think I should go down and and
I
see if
think
they're...
you worry too much.
Now, I'm supposed to push baby angels on stage. Then I'm supposed to hand shepherds their crooks and push them on stage. How do I do all of that?
The script. Here. Just follow the script.
The script. Okay. Baby angels, shepherds, wise men. Grace, it doesn't seem to say here where the fire engines come out.
Oh,
Just kidding. Good luck.
okay. Is everyone here? I just wanted to see how you all looked. Gladys, where is your halo?
Our cat buried it. Listen, I think I ought to say something besides the baby king. Why would they all tear after some baby they don't even know? I ought to tell them it's Jesus, and I ought to tell them where he is.
No, Gladys. You tell them, unto you a child is born, and that's all you tell them. Now, you need to go backstage now and be very quiet while people are coming, and good luck.
Mrs. Bradley, actors don't say good luck. Actors say break a leg.
Well,
Break a leg!
Allison, in this case, I didn't think, for those of you who don't know what that means, it doesn't mean to break a leg, yours or anyone else's. And Emma Jean, please try and remember that this is a baby, and for tonight anyway, it's the baby Jesus.
I'm itching my mom. Angel of the Lord came down, and glory shone.
And an angel of the Lord appeared to them. The glory of the Lord shone round about, and they were sore afraid. When an angel of the Lord appeared to them...
Hey! Auntie, a child is born. It's Jesus and he's in the barn. Go see him. Go on, go see him.
And suddenly there was a multitude of heavenly hosts, saying, Glory to God in the highest, and on earth peace among men.
Angels we have heard on high, sweetly singing o'er the plains, and the mountains in reply, echoing their joyous strains. Gloria in excelsis Deo, Gloria in excelsis Deo.
When Jesus was born, there came wise men from the east to worship him, bringing him gifts of gold, frankincense, and myrrh.
We bring kings of Orient on, bearing gifts we travelers of God. Pilgrim fountain, born without it, following yonder stars. Oh, star of wonder, star of night, star with royal beauty bright, westward leading, still proceeding, guide us through thy perfect light.
They look awful too. And what's that Leroy's got?
It's a ham.
It's a ham? I'll bet they stole it.
No, I think it's the ham from their welfare basket.
You mean it's their own ham? They must hate ham.
Even if they do hate ham, Alice, it's the only thing that they've ever given away in their whole lives. Being warned in a dream that they should not return to their own country, the wise men departed another way. The shepherds also departed, praising God for all that they had heard and seen. Mary kept these things and pondered them in her heart.
Silent night, holy night, all is calm, all is bright. Round yon Virgin, mother and child, holy infant, so tender and wild. Sleep in heavenly peace. Sleep in
Look, Beth. Mary's crying. Mrs. Bradley, Mary's crying.
But could you believe that that was Imogene Herdman and the rest of them? You know, this should have been the worst pageant, but this was the best Christmas pageant we've ever had. And I think it was them. Is that possible? Oh.
I always get with you about the pageant, but it was the best one, and it should have been the worst. You know, it's just, I don't know, something different. The angel of the Lord was different.
Yeah, but you know, I really like that. She had a lot of spirit. You know, sometimes we can't even hear the angel of the Lord. Well, I'm going to go find Grace and tell her.
I just wish now I better have Eugene to be baby Jesus.
Well, who was the baby Jesus?
Why, it was a doll.
Oh, no, Irma, that was no doll.
It did seem real.
It did seem real, as if it might have happened just that way. We all thought the Christmas pageant was just about Jesus, but that was only part of it. It was about a new baby and his mother and father who were in a whole lot of trouble. No money, no place to go, nobody they knew, no doctor, and then, arriving from the east, like my uncle from New Jersey, some rich friends. Because of the Herdmans, it was a whole new story. Imogene birthing the baby, the wise men bringing such a sensible gift. After all, you couldn't eat frankincense. And even Gladys, he's in the barn, go see him. So the shepherds didn't have to wander all over. But I think it was different for Imogene. For her, the Christmas pageant was all wonder and mystery, as if she just found out what Christmas was all about. When it was over, we had a party in the basement, but the Herdmans didn't stay. They didn't have any hot chocolate, and they didn't walk up with all the cookies. They wouldn't even take their candy things.
Well, that's about it. Any more kids left downstairs?
No, they're all gone. You know you have your bathrobe on. You're not going to wear that, are you?
Well, why not? Maybe people will think I was a shepherd. I wouldn't mind being taken as a shepherd in this Christmas pageant.
Yes, you would. When it was over, some lady came to hug me because I was a shepherd.
Hey, Miss Ham. It's the Herdman's ham from their welfare basket. They wouldn't take it back. Leroy said, it's a present, and you don't take back a present.
Leroy said that. They must take ham.
You and Alice Wendell can.
What about the lights?
They're on a timer. They go off at midnight.
Oh, that's not far away. It's almost Christmas.
Almost Christmas, kids.
Almost Christmas, Charlie.